Hey, hello, I am so happy that you have found your way here. I'm Autumn Ashley, and today I want to talk about my plans and goals for 2023. I've never done a video like this in the past. Usually I do quarterly goals, but I do want to mix it up just a smidge and have one video talking about long-term goals. Year-long goals, that's what I mean by long-term. I usually do quarterly goals, which I consider to be short-term, but I want to do it differently this year because what I should do is have long-term goals and then have quarterly goals that inch my way towards these long-term goals. In this video, I want to list off some of the things that I hope to accomplish in 2023 at some point in time. So I do want to sit down and talk about those things with you today. I am going to be setting writing goals, reading goals, social media / content goals, and some personal goals I'll just throw out there. Without further ado, let's get into the video. To kick off the plans and goals for 2023, we're going to start with my writing goals. For my writing goals, I've sectioned these off by project. So there are two main projects that I want to work on in 2023. I want to work on Project Burning Roses, and I want to work on Project Ice. So I did mention this in my 2022 recap video where I was at in my journey with Project Ice, where I'm at currently in that story, and I am still plotting that story. So in 2023, I would like to plot and write the first draft of Project Ice. Project Ice is my third fantasy project that I'm working on. In this story, my main character is a very naive young girl who gets sacrificed along with some other people to their gods on this mountain, but something happens and my main character survives the sacrifice and she comes back down from the mountain and she has a message to her kingdom from the gods. In this story, I have plotted it out, but I want to finish plotting it and write the first draft. I'm hoping that this only takes me the first 6 months. So if you watch my recap video of 2022, you will know that it pretty much took me the entire year to work on Project Burning Roses, which would be from seed idea to first draft. Well, I want to try to pick up the pace a little bit with my writing, and what I mean by that, I want to spend a little bit less time plotting certain areas of the story, home in other parts like story structure, characters, and if I have a magic system, learning the rules of that magic system, and then jumping into writing the first draft. And I don't want it to take me 7 months to write the first draft of Project Ice. I would like to accomplish all of this within the first 6 months of the year. So plotting and drafting for the first 6 months, I would like that primary project to be Project Ice. I want to return to Project Burning Roses. This is my second fantasy project that I have ever written from beginning, middle, and end. I still am obsessed with this story. I'm thinking about halfway through writing the first draft of Project Ice. I would like to return to Project Burning Roses to start the revision process and to re-outline the story, figure out what I want to work on, and then start to work on the second draft of that story. My plan would be to finish the second draft of Project Burning Roses. The first half of the year, I would like to work on Project Ice, and then the second half of the year, I would like to work on Project Burning Roses. And I feel like that would be a good balance because it's going to give me a little bit of time to let Project Burning Roses rest to the side so I can focus on Project Ice. And then once I'm finished with that story, I can go back to Project Burning Roses and work on that and have that be my sole project for the rest of the year. Now, with me saying that for the rest of the year, I would, in theory, love to work on something during NaNoWriMo and Preptober. I would love to do that. I have not participated in the traditional way of NaNoWriMo since 2020, and I didn't win Nano. I've only done it that one time officially. I did not win. I wrote about 25,000 words of a project, ended up scrapping that project, and it was a whole fiasco. I would like to challenge myself and work on something during NaNoWriMo, but that would be if I ended up finishing what I wanted to finish for Project Ice and I got what I needed to get done with Project Burning Roses. I have a few other projects in mind that I would like to slowly start to work on. I will have a video coming out sometime in the new year talking about all of my novels and where their status is, what I would like to continue working on in the future, and not just in 2023, but for the long term. We're all about long-term goals right now. Projects that I would like to work on eventually. I do have high hopes that I can finish these 2 projects before NaNoWriMo or Preptober, October happens, because that would be 10 months working on 2 different projects, plotting and writing the first draft, and then revising and working on the second draft of a story that I've already written. So I do think that that would be manageable. That would be ideal. I would love to work on a 3rd project. I think we'll have to see as it gets closer to the end of the year or to the second half of the year if I might have to tweak some of those goals. We'll just see where we're at as we get closer to the end of the year. I do want to add that I would like to throw in some short stories. I only worked on 1 short story that I did not complete last year. I have a short story idea, but there'll be multiple short stories, pretty much just fun projects like retellings of fairy tales, because I've always wanted to do my own little spin-off and do my own little funsies with some fairy tale retellings. Those won't be for anybody but just my eyes, and just fun little fluff things to do in between projects. Now, moving forward to my non-writing goals. Let's start with reading. I would like to read 52 books this year. I feel like that would be doable since in 2021, I read 12 to 14 books. In 2022, I read 30 books as I'm filming this. One of the reasons why I think this is doable is because I am letting myself be a mood reader this year. In the past, for the past few years, I've set quarterly goals for myself with the books that I want to read, but I've also chosen those books ahead of time. That kind of, in a way, puts me into a reading slump if I'm not feeling like I want to read the story once I'm finally ready to the point to read that story. Instead of making a list and trying to stick to that list of books, I am going to let myself mood read books, and I feel like it will help me read some of the books that are on my shelves currently, and then some of the books that are available at library. I can read those books first. And I also want to read more books that are not necessarily in the fantasy genre, since that is the primary genre I read. I would like to branch out and read other genres. I'm putting this series on here mainly because it's going to be a buddy read for all of next year, but I want to read and vlog The Lord of the Rings. I am such a huge fan of the movies, so I am going to be buddy reading The Lord of the Rings with Brie Bonomo all of this year in 2023. We're going to do some check-ins, monthly check-ins maybe, but I know we're gonna definitely do quarterly check-ins, and we're gonna try to read 1 book a quarter. This is gonna be a stretch, but I also don't have quite as many books as some people. I would like to try to read all of the books that I already own. And I did count these at one point, but I think I own 60 books. And I know that is a red flag and kind of contradicts like wanting to read 52 books in a year, but I think I can try to read all of the books that are on my shelves. And I think there's about 60, 65 books. I think I can do it because some of the books on my shelves I've already read, so those don't count. So there could be 52 books on this shelf, on my shelves, that I haven't read yet. And I would like to try to read what I have first. And then if I like these books, then I'll keep them. But if I'm not vibing with the books, or if I don't think that they're gonna be something I'll read again, then I can always just purge them, donate them to Goodwill. I also have an indie bookstore nearby where you can donate books to them, and then they'll give you a credit. So then you can use those credits to buy books from them. That might be something that I do to give those books away to that little bookstore. All the books that I have purchased over the last few years, I do want to read, but I want to make this the year that if I don't read the book that's on my shelf and it's been there for a good while, either read it or we'll get rid of it. I started doing this in 2022, but kind of towards the end of 2022, I want to DNF books. I want myself to know that it's okay to DNF a book if I'm not vibing with it. And we can always try again later. Maybe we're just not feeling the book in that particular moment, or it's okay to DNF it. I want to make sure that I don't put myself into a reading slump trying to force myself to read a book, because that's not fun. And I think in the past, that's why I've never read quite as many books, because I will force myself to get through a book even if I don't like it. I feel bad if I DNF a book, but not every book is for every reader. So I don't want to make myself feel obligated to finish a book if I'm not feeling it. And it's okay, it's fine. I'm not going to connect with every book that I read. It'll be okay. This is also an interesting one that I put on here, but I don't think I have many that fall into this category to finish any series that I have started and I haven't finished yet. And I don't think there's too many on this list of books where I want to continue on with the series. Obviously, if I read the first book before and I don't feel the need to continue the series, I'm not torturing myself with that. But if there is a book that I would like to continue on reading and it's a series, then I will try to read and finish that series in 2023. One of the other goals on my list is to check more books out from the library. It's like right down the road from me. I have a lot of reading goals, but I have high hopes for my reading this year, especially since I'm going more off of vibes and being more of a mood reader. I want to alternate between reading books that are greater than 500 pages and then books that are less than 500 pages. I want a good variety. Something that really stunted my reading in 2022 is I would assign myself to read really big books all at once. And so I never had a break of reading something that was over 500 pages and then maybe reading one or two smaller books that are like 200 or 300 pages. The last thing on this list for reading before we move on to social media and content, I want to read more poetry and short stories. So the next one on this list is social media, and we're going to start with YouTube. So YouTube is my primary platform. I would like to try to set a subscriber count goal of 3,000 people joining my journey. Now, that's a lot. What I would like to do is really concentrate on making my videos a little more entertaining and up my quality in my videos, and then hopefully more people will be able to connect with me and want to join my journey. I would also like to try to find 100 other new writers into our community. I know new people are joining our community every single day, and I would like to try to meet and connect with 100 of them. That sounds like a lot. Is it really though? If we have many people joining our community every day, every month, I think I can try to find 100 people joining our community. Now, that's a lot considering I am an introvert and expanding my circle is incredibly difficult for me. Introvert. So trying to reach out to 100 people to connect with them on YouTube is a stretch, but I'm certainly going to try. I don't know how I'm going to end up measuring this. I feel like I'll know. To my vlogs, I know I said I wanted to up the quality of my vlogs, and I want to do a little bit more of outlining my videos before I make them, and I want to make better thumbnails. I feel like I always rush to make my thumbnails and they never turn out quite like I would like them to be, but also I like to add just a sprinkle, like a smidge, and not even to every video, but a little bit of more lifestyle content. Not a whole lot. Adding a little bit more of lifestyle / other hobbies, I will look more like a normal person and that I don't just sit and write all day, every day, because I don't. But I would like to include that so you can get a better understanding of my life and how I weave writing into it. I am going to stop with the quarterly goal videos because doing those every 3 months, I think it was a lot, and it did take away from doing vlogs. I want to do a check-in video at the 6-month mark, at the halfway point, and then do a wrap-up video at the end of the year. I will find a way to still maybe post what I want to do quarterly, but for the most part, I just want to strictly do vlogs and maybe a few sit-down videos here and there. I know that my upload schedule is going to change, which really stinks because I love posting videos on Fridays is when I started. I ended up switching it to a Saturday because I needed an extra day. For a little while towards the end of 2022, my videos were going up on a Sunday because I needed that extra day to edit the video, to create the thumbnail, and even to get the content. I still need a little bit of extra time to edit videos, especially if I want to up the quality of them and make them a little more engaging. That's going to take a little bit more time. So I think I'm changing my upload schedule. Well, I don't think. I am changing my upload schedule. It's either going to be on a Monday or a Tuesday, at least to start the year. That might change if I get a little bit more flexibility with my schedule and if I think that I can handle maybe doing it on a different day, but I think either a Monday or a Tuesday. I have some new vlog series that I want to do. So since I'm going to be working on a new story, I'm going to vlog that plotting process. And then once I start drafting that story, I want drafting vlogs and then revision vlogs for you guys as I revise and work through the first draft of Project Burning Roses. Once I start working on the second draft of Project Burning Roses, obviously I'm going to document that journey as well. Those are the vlogs that you guys will be able to look forward to, or a heads up that that is the content that I will be providing this year. And I still want to do live streams. Moving on to Instagram. So I mentioned this in my 2022 wrap-up recap video that my Instagram is not very aesthetic. It's not what I want my Instagram to be. So I do want to use 2023 as a year to experiment and to try to create my own little aesthetic over there. So I did mention too in that video that I love just fun writing vibes, little writing aesthetics, fun little things that just get you excited about reading and writing and books. And I want that to be my platform on Instagram. And I want to do fun little reels and just enjoy my time on Instagram. So that's what I want to do over there on Instagram. Create more of a fun, positive writing aesthetic over there on Instagram. With that being said, I want to grow my Instagram. I am gonna try to shoot for 3,000 followers. Right now, I'm like a little above 1,000. Kind of like my YouTube, I want to try to find and follow 100 new authors on Instagram. Authors, writers, book people, which is a lot, again, introvert, but I think I can do it. I think it'll be doable. I don't know what I want to do with my Twitter. It's just there. I don't know, maybe go on there and then share a couple of things or retweet a couple of things. I don't know, Twitter is just floating out in the universe right now and I don't know what I want to do with it. Right now, I do have my website. It has my current projects on there and I do update it from time to time. I think I just want to keep that as what it is over there. Moving on to the final goals of this video. I want to just briefly talk about all of the personal things that I want to accomplish in 2023. I want to have a better morning and evening routine. And I know that this is going to change from season to season, from different times throughout the year, which is going to be fine. I don't want to say at the beginning of the year, I need to have the exact same morning schedule and evening schedule as I am planning on having for the end of the year, because that's just not feasible. That just doesn't make sense. But I do want to make sure I find a good balance and I find a good routine to get myself into, and not just with writing, but as life as a whole. Make sure I dedicate time to certain things, schedule things out, and just make sure that I have a good balance with everything. That is what I want to try to do for 2023. Just learn to balance all the things in life. I want to come up with a solid exercise schedule, and this can still change week to week, month to month. But overall, I need to make sure that I'm exercising, keeping up my physical health, being active, and just making sure I have a healthy overall lifestyle. And I am not the best cook, I'll be totally honest. I'm probably like one of the worst cooks out there in the world, but I would like to level up my cooking skill. I also would like to learn to bake a little bit more because I'm not a baker. My mother is a baker and she's like the world's best baker. I wish I had those genes. I wish I inherited them from her. I didn't. I inherited all of my dad's traits, which is burning water. So I would like to work on all of that stuff and taking my time, scheduling out meals, doing some meal prep. Last thing is more self-care. Make sure I learn what my limits are and making sure that, you know, it's good to push yourself every now and again out of your comfort zone because that's how you grow in all parts of my life, like writing, reading, and personal work and all of that. But also knowing when to take time off, because I'm one of those people where if I don't stop myself or if I don't physically say no to something, my body will say no and I'll get sick. I have an entire document talking about all of my personal goals, which is a lot, which is probably way more than you guys would ever care about. But I'll just like briefly go through them. Set a savings budget, learn another language, travel at least 4 times this year. I have a writing retreat that's kind of in the works with some of my writing friends, but I would like to definitely try to find a way to get that to happen. And then I want to take 3 more trips this year, but now that my rent just increased and everything is super expensive, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go on 3 trips. So we might have to revise that and maybe do 2 trips. So we'll see how that goes as the year goes on. I would like to donate blood to like the American Red Cross or One Blood at least 3 times this year. And I already have one scheduled for February. I want to do one a little bit later after that and then one towards the end of the year. There are a few more things, but I don't want to keep boring you guys with like the personal stuff, but I want to donate to our Humane Society here. They need money, they need supplies, food, help with medical bills. Those are all of the goals that I have set for myself for 2023. Writing, reading, social media / content on YouTube, and personal goals. But let me know one writing goal that you have set for yourself for 2023 and what is one just overall lifestyle goal or something that you want to do for yourself in 2023. Let me know down in the comments below, but that's gonna be it for this video. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to my channel and you want to be part of my writing journey, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you don't miss another time that I upload. Again, I am Autumn Ashley and I will see you in the next one. Bye.